Indian cricket fans would not want to recall this particular moment or reflect back on this moment. After all, this was one moment that changed everything for Indian cricket as far as the 2023 edition of the World Cup is concerned. Hardik Pandya, the man who got injured in that game against Bangladesh, has had a prolonged time off the field, and he's been nursing the ankle injury which he suffered in this particular match. For the first time now, after months and months of going rehab, Hardik Pandya has now opened up on what it felt like for him to have missed out on the World Cup and what is it that the treatment then looked like. He told his teammates he's going to be back in 5 days, but it then turned out to be a 3-month episode for Hardik Pandya, so much so that he took injections as well, got blood removed and whatnot, but even then all of that wasn't enough for Hardik Pandya to make a comeback to the Indian team in the World Cup. Let's quickly tell you what exactly is it that Hardik Pandya underwent over all those days that he was with the team, then with the NCA, and what's been his recuperation like then after that particular episode. All of that over the next couple of minutes we'll tell you, as Hardik Pandya has now opened up for the first time on what it was like for him to have nursed this particular injury during the World Cup. He first talks about his preparation, and he said that he's that kind of an athlete for whom preparation doesn't begin a month or two before, it begins a year back for any major tournament, and for the World Cup as well he had already started to prepare a month in advance. He also said that initially the time of recovery was estimated to be about 25 days, but when I left I told the team that I'll be back in 5 days. He had that kind of confidence and he was ready to push himself, Hardik Pandya, knowing very well that 25 days is what he was initially told that it could take for the injury to heal, but he was so sure he wanted to push himself that he told his teammates as he headed to the NCA that he's going to be returning in 5 days. Wasn't to be the case because he pushed himself, Hardik Pandya, and that's what he admitted over here. He said that he took 3 injections on 3 different places in the affected area, which was the area around his ankle, and he also says that the swelling became so much that blood had to be removed from the ankle. That's how the state of his ankle was during that particular time, and only because Hardik was trying to ensure that things recovered fast, everything went in a manner that he could rejoin his team, he kept pushing himself. Unfortunately, he ended up aggravating his injury, and that's what he has now gone ahead and said. He said that I did not want to give up, I wanted to give it my all for the team. I knew pushing it could aggravate my injury, but I was ready for it. There was a reoccurrence and it became a 3-month injury. As a result, I wasn't able to walk and I tried to run at that time. So while he was probably just good enough, let's say, to be gingerly walking around, that's all that his body allowed him to do back then. But Hardik Pandya tried to push himself. He was trying to run at a point where his ankle was still very sore. It had taken 3 injections, got some blood removed. He was trying every bit, but he wasn't quite able to recover in time, and that is what was heartbreaking for him. 5 days he thought he's going to be back, ended up being a 3-month long injury, as he said, because he tried to push himself over there. And he then goes ahead and says that the World Cup was like my baby and I wanted to be there for my child, especially when you were playing at home. I missed out and it will always weigh heavy on my heart. This is what Hardik Pandya has now said on him missing out on the World Cup, that for something that he'd prepared for more than a year. In fact, it was very heavy on his heart to take that particular blow, not be able to recover in time, something he was in fact told by the immediate care that he got by the doctors, that 25 days is what it looks like. But he was ready to push himself, he was ready to take those extra pains, he was ready to take those extra injections, whatever it took, let's say, for him to be back in a space of about a week or so, 5 days as he says over here. But wasn't quite the case, because he ended up aggravating his injury, and like he said over here, it ended up being a 3-month injury because there was a reoccurrence, because of which Hardik Pandya wasn't able to take part in any form of cricket, in fact, since then, and he's been on the sidelines. Now looking ahead at the IPL and after that the T20 World Cup as well. He says that he has his eyes set, and even the T20 World Cup, which is going to be taking place starting the 1st of June, he is going to be treating that as his baby as well, and he now has his eyes set over there and he wants to deliver the goods for the nation now.